Alrighty, so Montreal. Today they have announced a new head coach to their team, and that I know I didn't mention this a couple of weeks ago during the playoffs when I didn't do news of the week, where Montreal elected to not renew Wilmer Cabrera's contract and allow his contract to run out. And in many ways, that with him taking the helm of the Impact was more kind of a rental than really he was going to be there for a long-term future, which, if I would have talked about it, I wasn't surprised the fact that they didn't renew his contract, because it just kind of sounds weird, the fact that Wilmer Cabrera decided to basically just got fired from the Dynamo to just quickly jump ship to Montreal and hope that he can guide this team to do some good thing, which he did. He did win them the Canadian Championship, and that now they are going to be going to CCL. But again, Montreal decided not to renew his contract, and now once again the managerial spot is vacant until today, when they announced that they are going to hire Thierry Henry as their new manager of the Montreal Impact. Now, this is not the first time that Thierry Henry has been mentioned in terms of managing in MLS. If you guys remember, back in the middle of the season and back in July, there was a lot of rumor that Henry was going to be coming to MLS and coach the Red Bulls, and obviously those rumors eventually kind of died out, and Thierry Henry also said that he was not interested in terms of the Red Bulls role. But now he apparently is interest to come back to MLS again, and this time as a manager, but he's interested in the Montreal role. Now, I know a lot of Montreal fans are very excited with the fact that Thierry Henry is their manager, but you gotta also keep in mind that they're getting Thierry Henry not a player, but more of a coach. And if you guys remember how the last coaching role that Thierry Henry was involved, which was just a couple of, or not a couple, but it was last year when he was with Monaco, it definitely did not end up very well, and that he basically got fired after he pretty much just completely took that team all the way down to the relegation zone. And there's also been kind of rumor talk about how not only he lost the dressing room when he was at Monaco, but he also kind of mistreated the players in the locker room repeatedly. So yeah, as much as I know it's a high profile kind of name, it's not really a high profile name in terms of coaching, but more in terms of the player name. But I guess the reason why Montreal decided to do this is because, one, obviously branding is very important. I'm pretty sure that will get a lot of fans excited, the fact that one of the most legendary player in world football is coaching their team. But the second thing is that I think this is a bit of kind of something similar they did with Remy Gard, where when Remy Gard come to the Impact, he was coming off of a failed stint at Aston Villa, and that Montreal feel like, yes, he had a failed stint at Aston Villa, but he did well when he was at Lyon, and maybe he, of course, will work out, which it kind of worked out for Remy Gard under Montreal, and at least he did bring a little bit stability in the team, but he, of course, never got them into the playoffs. And now Thierry Henry, obviously coming off of a failed stint at Monaco, you wonder, with Montreal decided to sign him after that failed stint in Europe, does this mean that they are going to kind of almost get the same result? And then I know people will say that these coaches that fail in Europe tends to come to MLS and they won't do very well. Well, that's actually not true, because if you look at Frank de Boer when he came to MLS and how he was coming off of a couple of failed stints with Crystal Palace and Inter Milan, he actually kind of turned it around for Atlanta and actually won a couple of trophies with them. So, it's not always false the fact that a coach that tends to not do very well in Europe will be kind of the same in MLS. But in many ways, this is a very high risk kind of maneuver. There is definitely a chance that this might not work. I mean, the other thing that I will also say maybe this will work is that at least that means that Montreal could potentially attract some players, and that I know a lot of players want to play under a legendary player like Thierry Henry, so maybe that, of course, will work out. But we shall see how this move, of course, will go, and it will be interesting to see whether or not if Thierry Henry can basically redeem himself. I mean, I know he always want to go into coaching, but I have a feeling after his reputation was so damaging when he was coaching with Monaco, you wonder if he does not do well in this job that he might not get another shot in terms of coaching, and that his reputation is going to be very damaging in terms of the managerial role if he basically just run this Montreal team into the ground. So yeah, we'll see how the Impact will do under Thierry Henry, but let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this hiring? Do you like this hiring? Do you think this is a smart hiring for Montreal, or do you think this is not a really good hiring because of what happened in Monaco with Thierry Henry? But let me know in the comments below. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.